Hello, everybody. Excited Utterance here. And my name's Hella. And it is Hildebrandt and Frankie, the Unseen Exhibits Day. We're a little bit earlier than we have been the last couple of weeks. Last week we were on at 7:30 Eastern, and it's part 3. The week before we were on Saturday, so we're trying to get a bit of a time slot going, although I'm not sure because I feel a little bad because usually at 6:30 we have the Nick Godejohn story, and I wasn't sure about that one because what's going on here, because I wasn't sure if there was going to be much more happening with that. And then I had some news just earlier that there's been a word from the courts on that one. So I put a notice up on the community board earlier. So we're going to have a stream about Nick. Anyone who has is joining us and is interested in the Nick Godejohn story, there will be another stream on Nick, and we'll get an attorney on for that one. But back to the topic for today. So we're back looking at the unseen exhibits of Hildebrandt and Frankie. And hello, Murphy Turfy. How are you? And we have Becca Lynn. Hi, how are you? Start your engine. Yeah, I know. Sorry, we'll be late. Christine is here. Hello. And John. John, you feature heavily in this show. Wait for that. Wait for that. Ping cord went ping. Yes, it did. And Half Irish is here. And look, actually, Salvador Dali may be joining me for this stream. He doesn't usually join me for this stream, but I did tell him he had to behave.
Hi.
Hi. So I turned up backstage and he was here, right?
Yes.
Now, here's the deal. You got to behave.
I'll behave. I'm
You
a
have
good
to
boy.
behave.
I'm a good boy.
No, you're not. You're generally not, right? So here's the deal, right? I always love having you around. You have complete access to every stream.
Yes.
But this is not a jokey stream.
That's okay.
We can be a little lighthearted, but this is about some nasty stuff.
No.
It's about some nasty stuff. Well, here's the deal. Dali's always invited, but he actually uninvited himself to the very first one of these. He uninvited himself. And that was your birthday, actually. And you didn't want to be brought down on your birthday, did you?
Yeah. I was living my best life.
You were living your best life. Yeah, but you're always welcome, of course. But no D jokes or anything like that today. None of that. No. Of course. Anyway, good to have you, Dali. All right, so Dali's here. And what else we got? Silmat's here. Hello, love. Good to see you. Good to see you. And what else? We have I said hello to Half Irish, didn't I? And what we got here? Who else we got here? Is anybody else yet? No one else is in chat yet. If I missed anybody, then let me know. If we got some people that are not chatting, hi everybody. Okay, so the reason I said that you feature heavily, John, is because you have provided some information that is going to show up in the research that I'm going to be presenting. Becca Lynn, you've also been providing some research. Thank you very much. And I think Murph as well, and Silnat. So if I missed anybody who's been providing some research in the background over on the Discord, I'm sorry about that. Let me know. But I really appreciate how everyone in the community has been getting into this topic and helping out. Because last week when we spoke about this, we were listening to the Kevin Franke interview. Number 2 is the one that really got us like, whoa, what is going on? When he walked into that interrogation room, well, it wasn't interrogation, it was an interview room, and he went, hey, so before anything, he's like sat down and he goes, firstly, have you found the pen papers? Like that. And it was like, what? Oh, we found a journal. But he's like, no, the pen papers. It's like scripture. It's like this thing that she wouldn't want anyone else found, anyone to find. It's really important. And it's like she was writing something that would be kind of like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, like a gospel. And you could tell from the way he was speaking, it was so different to the first interview, that he was completely enraptured by Ruby and Jodi, really, but by Ruby and by all of this very intense spiritual speak that Ruby and Jodi had been talking at him for quite a long time. And this pen paper thing, they hadn't found it, but this was like their scripture or Ruby's scripture. So it was super interesting, and it got us all like wanting to find out more. So thank you to everybody for getting involved. And we had a really big chat on the Discord. And guys, if you're not a member, if we've got new people here coming in at all, please, if you're not membered up and you want to be part of this discussion behind the scenes, come and join us, because I'm sure after today you're going to want to get involved. Okay, it's Happy Autism Awareness Day. Thank you, Silnat. Wow, that's interesting. Now, okay, cool. We're going to be covering more about that tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to be having just a live chat. So you know how every now and again, every week or two, it's more like every 2 to 3 weeks, I have just me and everybody talk about things that are on my mind. And I also want to talk about like what's happening on different streams and things like that. So we're going to talk about not just the Nick case, but also this the Sebastian case. So Sebastian has gone missing, that autistic kid. So interesting that you say that, because 2 cases of autistic people who have ongoing cases I want to talk about tomorrow. So let's talk about that then. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Alrighty, so moving on with this. Yes, it was a total 180, wasn't it, Merchtov?
This is a Facebook comment.
Oh, hi. Actually, yes, I've noticed that you have been watching our streams. So Phyllis Nagy, do you think that was on the laptop and that's why the husband tried to get the laptop from the daughter? Your thought, do you think it was on the laptop and that's why the husband... I don't think so. I think it was handwritten. From the way that Kevin was talking, it sounded like it was handwritten. He spoke about her actually writing it down. So I don't think so, but that's a fair question. I think that's why the husband tried to get a laptop from the daughter. I think there were probably other things on the laptop. But good point. And great to have you here, Phyllis. Thank you for joining us from Facebook. And whilst I love having people over on Facebook, if you want to come over to YouTube, you get to chat with everybody else in the chat. So that would be like, here's the thing, right? Or share it to other people on Facebook and try and get more people coming into the Facebook chat. That'd be awesome too. That would be awesome too. Great to have you here. It's so great to have you here. I'm trying so hard to like grow out into other communities, but it's really tricky. But yeah, I started here on YouTube. Good question. Yeah, good question though. Hadn't thought of that. Okay, and no problem. I don't recall what I was watching, but I saw that police body cam footage of Kevin going to his house for the first time, and he was mad that Shara, the eldest, had taken things from the house. Yeah, I actually have been looking at some of that stuff too, and I remember that too. Shara had taken things from the house. Cool. Hello, Josie. Is in one of the videos when Ellie were in the house, there's stacks of notebooks and binders. Yeah, they pulled a lot of stuff out, but I don't know. Like, I think they would have, if they'd found this thing, they'd know. They'd know. And it would have come out by now. At least we would know. All right, let's get into it. Shari. Yeah, it's Shari. Okay. He hadn't been there to the house for 13 months. So what was he looking for? Good question. That was, see, the thing is, the way he spoke about the pen papers, it was like such an urgent thing. It was like the first thing he said, it was like, so have you found the pen papers? And here's the other thing, right? And that's what I want to talk about today. It's like, what is going on with Kevin? Like, what is the deal with this dude? Right? Like, it's driving me mental. Are we going to see this dude charged at some point? Is he just walking? Like, what's going on with him? What do you guys all think? Like, he's just sitting there talking like it's all them, it's all Ruby, it's all Jodi. They told me to take some time out from the family. I needed to look inwards to myself. I did that. They sent me to these men workshops. What was it? Men. I've got it written down somewhere. But it was men's only workshops. He didn't have anything to do with the kids. He didn't know anything about what was going on at all. And then he just gets a call one day and he thinks that he's going to be going and picking the kids up. That's it. So there's no culpability whatsoever. Women Hating Men Club. Yeah, the men's group. Is this it? Like, is there nothing that he has any responsibility for whatsoever here? I'm confused. And also the way that he's sort of pushing back on the two women, and it seems very planned. Like,
cover your ass.
Interview, yeah, he's covering his ass. And the whole, like, the first interview, it was all like, I didn't know anything about all this, And then the second one is like, did you find the pen papers? Oh, yeah, Ruby wouldn't want anyone to find those. And they would go in and have these 4-hour sessions and have these trances and the man workshops and no. And he's like throwing them all under the bus then. Right? And it's like, oh, but, and then, yeah, like, I've got nothing to do with all of this. But if you actually go back and have a look at some of the stuff that went on, like, he was really involved in the church. He was really involved. He trusts his wife and Jodi. No way, dude. Yeah, exactly. I'm just waiting. Like, I'm like, I think he's going to get charged. I think something's going to come of this. I don't think that he's gotten away scot-free with this at all. I don't know what I don't know if, like, I mean, I don't think the charges would be anything like what the other two have received, but I think that there could be something for him to answer to at some point. He didn't ask the officers the condition of the children. Would you beg to go see them with the police? Even you would want to hug them and comfort them. He's something, like, he's guilty of something. There's got to be, like, neglect. There's got to be something there. There's got to be something there. I just don't see how he's not culpable in some way of colluding to this. I watched some of Jodi's like promo videos for connections. I do not get what people saw in her. She is not endearing to me at all. Oh, she gets under their skin, right? She gets under their skin. So also, actually, that's what before I get into my presentation today, though, I think what I will show you, this is quite funny. Hang on, let me see if I can bring it up. Because I found this too late to actually put it into everything else, but this is so funny. Okay, so people were how her like it's her business, but I'll call it more like her ministry, right? Connections. Okay, so people would join and she'd try and like save their marriages, right? Or save their family. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, and like people would join, and then people would like leave and be like, "Okay, she ruined my marriage," right? Or this didn't work for me, or something like that. They just wouldn't be happy with the result, right? And so they'd leave, and they'd give these 1-star reviews on Google, right? And so her Google rating would go down. So it was really kind of like she'd get super duper pissed off. So hang on just a moment. Let me go find it. So hang on. Oh yeah. There we are. Got it. And let's go into this mode.
Guys, are you doing what you can do to stop it? This is something super simple.
Okay, wait. And can we just change into the other mode?
The one I just did?
Yes, that one. Yep. Cool.
See, before you asked.
Thank you.
Look at me.
I'm helping. You are helping. And hang on. There we go. Right. Okay. Ready? Can we hear the... Oh, now what happened? Okay, go.
Ugh.
I know.
Jesus.
I know. Why isn't it playing?
Did you hit the play button?
Oh, yeah, no, it was a screen recording. The person was...
Guys, are you doing what you can do to stop it? This is something super simple. We're asking you to do. And you're not doing it. It's confusing to me. It's like you guys like what you're getting from us, and we're saying, hey, can you please help? It's like we're going across the plains, pushing a wagon cart, and you like you're going across the plains, but you're in the wagon. It's like, can you get out and please walk a little bit? Can you push a little bit? Like, we're not even asking you to do that. We're just saying, can you please take 5 minutes and hit a button and go give us a 5-star review? Please, please. It will help others come to truth where we can bond with them. I don't know how else to say it to you. Please, please.
Wait, she gets more angry.
If you're going to be part of this Connections Truthful family, you've got to do your part. You know, many of you, we keep asking you to respond on Moms of Truth, and so many of you won't respond. And I talk to you, I'm like, hey, how come you're not responding? Well, I don't want that coming at me. It's like, oh my gosh. You expect just a handful of us to stand up to this aggression and evil? This is why aggression and evil has dominated our world.
Whoa!
Because there's too many of us that want to live in truth that are not standing up. So please, at a minimum, please, I don't understand why you won't do it. Go on to Moms of Truth. There is a link underneath every single video that says, give us a review. Click it and give us a 5-star, please. It will get our rating back up.
Oh my God.
And I can't stand Google. I think it's the stupidest thing that somebody's done because it's misused, it's manipulated, it's used for dishonest and deceptive purposes. And these people that go and give 5 stars, they're all lies. I mean, I've read every single one of them. And I think there's probably 2 people that I know that are mad because they didn't get the outcomes that they wanted working with me. And guess why they didn't get the outcomes? Because they weren't willing to humble.
Oh my God.
Their spouses are doing lovely, but they're mad because they didn't get their spouse to do what they want. All the others are just made up lies. They're just made up. There's no truth to them. I don't even know who these people are, and neither does Ruby. So please, there's more of us than there are of them. But these people who are angry, they're motivated to hurt someone. And they know that's how they can do it. They can't affect us any other way. And like I said, it really doesn't affect me personally, because I know I'm speaking the truth, and I know that I'm sanctioned by God to say what I'm saying.
God.
So I'm not scared of them. But Google affects people. And when Google says 2 stars or 1 star, that's bad. So please help others so that they're willing to come. Please, please. 100 times, please. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay, I will say that the woman who is HOA president gave this exact same campaign speech.
What's HOA?
Homeowners Association.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm an Australian. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Hey, Pilola's mum, thank you for popping over. That's cool to see you. And hey, Chrissy, I haven't said hello to you yet either. So that was posted in the private group of the Connections members. So people who've signed up for Connections, to be a customer of hers, basically, right? And she's actually gone and made it possible for people to just click one link to give them 5 stars, right? And she's chucking an absolute mental, as you see, because people aren't giving them 5 stars. People are giving 1-star reviews because they're angry about what's happened to them at Connections. Did you see the rage there? Oh my God. That's through the screen. Imagine being a tiny little child and feeling that rage towards you. What the is going on there? That scared me. I was legit scared. I've watched that a couple times now, and I can't, every time she enunciates it, I'm like that. She's really scary. She is one angry woman. You think she needs a burger? Pete Lawler's mum. Yeah. What's going on? All right, let's get into it. Jeez. Wow. All right, so today, so last week we heard Ruby's husband Kevin speak of his family's indoctrination by an offshoot of the LDS church. Wow, I'm still my heart was like that. Just, it's like I'm being, I was in the principal's office just now, right? But the principal is this really crazy lady. Okay, so Ruby formed a business partnership with Jodi, Hildebrand, which ended up merging their online lives. So, as you know, I keep getting their names mixed up because they're kind of similar. Ruby had their family all with this YouTube channel, right? So 8 passengers, all of their kids, dad, mom, all videoing and broadcasting their lives all the time, getting up in the morning, making breakfast, all with the cameras all the time. Hey, everybody, like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff, which I don't get personally. That to me is so foreign, but hey, it's Australia. So we don't really have that so much here. I think
really?
It's no.
You don't live stream your life?
No.
You don't live stream you sleeping in bed?
Not really.
Some people do that here.
I think I'm sure there are some Australians who do it, but it's not a big thing. No, especially families, kids. I don't think.
Yeah.
look, it's not an area of the internet I look at, I suppose. So I'm sure maybe there's some, but I don't think it's a big thing. Okay. Oops, hang on, wait. I was going to show you
David.
We'd like to actually.
Hello, David. I should say hello to David. Sorry, I threatened to time you out in Bronca's chat earlier. I was just playing with my new wrench.
Phrasing.
I didn't mean it. Hello, Mary Christensen. I saw that rant a year or so ago. I couldn't believe it. I don't think anyone could possibly think that's normal, that rant.
That's how I operate business.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't like this stream, that's what hell is going to do.
Oh, right. Yeah. You must like the stream. Like the stream. Do something good
you're
for people.
watching. I don't know why you aren't liking and subscribing if you're watching.
It's only one click.
It's honestly good enough for you because you're here.
You're here.
I don't get it. Click. Why would you downvote?
Good for people. It's just one click, people.
Damn it.
Oh dear. Trying to do TLC channel without the TLC. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I was going to play this for you. So this is a little flashback. So these guys, and sorry to have to subject you to these women, but here they are in their glory days giving out advice.
Actually share some comments that we have received from you, and we want to address them. Here we go. Here comes good old Instagram.
These are sincere comments from some very sincere people. And I think it's important that we talk about this. I want to invite you to really consider, is this working for you? Are you getting the help that you need? These comments might reflect how you feel. So comment number 1 is, I've gone to multiple different therapists, and what seems to happen is that it initially feels okay. But as I keep going, I just get worse and worse until things are so bad, I can't keep going. I've never gotten anything out of therapy that I couldn't get from just talking to people on the internet, which actually has been more productive for me.
Hopefully they're talking to people in truth.
Yeah.
So I hear that. And what I'm hearing is that this person is desiring to feel some foundation under their feet, like feel some stability under their feet. And they've gone to different therapists, and I don't know exactly what they're looking for. And they're walking away saying, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Well, let me tell you, those of you who feel that way about life coaching, therapy, meditation groups, whatever modality you're going to, that you're not finding peace. If you are willing to come and learn about principles of truth and actually willing to humble and choose to be responsible and choose to be honest, you will find calmness. This sounds so.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Keep going. All right. Whilst that's catching up. That's interesting. So 8 Passengers, the actual channel, changed its name to Mums of Truth. Is that right, Becca Lynn? Because 8 Passengers had I don't know if it had 1 million subscribers, but it had over 500,000, I'm sure. So that was their family channel, wasn't it? So did she actually change the entire channel name and everything to Mums of Truth? So it became like a religious kind of channel. Is that right, Becca Lynn? Seeing whether or not I can get this back.
I don't think it's loading.
That's all right.
Hit the play button. See? Yes.
Maybe it's the spirits.
That's it.
The spirits are like, we don't like these women and we don't want them to speak anymore. 8 Passengers got a lot of complaints. I'm not surprised because people signed up for like a family sort of day by day kind of fun channel, and then they started to get like these religious things. So I would think that's probably correct. Okay, never mind. So what they're talking, okay, I've looked at some analysis of these videos, and basically what they're trying to do is turn you away from like regular therapy, right? So when people go to therapy, they go to therapy and they are supposedly enabled, right? So you're enabled to do the things that you do in general life, like have addictions and have affairs and just generally sin. Whereas what these guys are saying to do is you're not allowed to sin, so therefore you need to be punished, right? And that includes children. And that's what the truth is. So the truth, being grounded in the truth, is accepting the fact that you need to make choices that are hard. And the choices that are hard are that you have to not drink that alcohol, not look at porn, and you must not give in to your child who wants to disobey you. You need to punish that child. So that's the truth as far as these ladies were concerned, and that's what they're teaching. Okay. Okay. So we looked at this last week, and it's just a little piece of it. So Kevin was involved, right? There's no question that Kevin was involved. Kevin spoke of being influenced by Jodi himself, taking time out from his family and going, that's right. It's called man school. Taking time out from his family and going to man school workshops, right? So here he is at man school.
We're here at man school in St. George, Utah. These are two of these lovely men. Kevin just got done giving a talk about from
lovely evil men
to cradle. And we're here together with about 45 men who are interested in learning how to connect.
Why is he looking at her like that? In my opinion, it's a look of admiration.
And
that's from TikTok,
this,
obviously.
In order to connect, you have to live 3 principles. They are being honest, responsible, and humble. And so these men have, pretty much perfected, right, guys?
I just heard a whip cracking. Anyone else?
Oh, yeah, that must be like the bush rangers outside.
No, I was saying they were whipped.
Oh, right. Okay. And my cat has gone and pulled out the cord as usual. Because you're so busy sleeping over there, Sarah, if that's what it is. He's sleeping and he goes like that onto the cord. And it's like, oh, wow. It's all right.
These guys make me look alpha male.
That's hard. Okay, so yeah, like Scientologists, hey Fed, like Scientologists, they find people with problems and that's who they hook them into. Yes. We need a resident exorcist. Okay, so I hear lightning coming down on them. Indeed. All right, so there's Kevin, and here's the thing. My theory, it's just a theory, just an opinion, is that Kevin was very much complicit and part of all of this the whole time. I don't think he didn't know what was going on. If he actually didn't know what was going on, it was by choice. It was like la 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 la. And he believed it all. He believed all of this stuff.
A very common misconception.
Okay, so and here is Kevin. Now, here's another thing, right? Here's Kevin speaking online with his wife, again under the banner of Connections and maybe Mums of Truth. I didn't realize that 8 Passengers changed its name to Mums of Truth. Thank you very much. Who was it who said that earlier? Was it you, Becca Lynn, or Ronnie? It might have been Ronnie. Sorry, Ronnie. Yeah, I didn't realize I changed 8 Passengers to Mums of Truth. And do you remember in his interview last week, the second interview, he said that was against their YouTube manager's advice, right? And that he didn't want to do it. Really, dude? Well, watch this, because he seems pretty complicit in it right here.
That's unfortunately supported by much of the psychological community today, is this idea that we truly are victims to things like addiction, to things like narcissism, or whatever the diagnosis label is. In other words, in our minds, it's all, we believe that addiction is this lion that's lurking out there, and it finds a victim and it prances on it, and now that's a victim of addiction. Or the same with narcissism or any of these labels. And the truth is that addictive behavior is a result of consistent choices that are not made in truth. And that individual can choose to stop making those choices. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. I look at you, Curtis, and I think, man, that was a lot of effort and work and stumbling and picking yourself back up and going and going and going. It was a ton of work, but you did it. You chose it. And I also had many addictions that I was choosing in my life that I needed. If I wanted recovery, I needed to stop choosing them. I was no victim to them. And so if you're in the other side of a relationship where you're saying my spouse is addicted to X or Y, and you are viewing that and saying that in the sense of my poor spouse, I want to support my spouse, you are enabling your spouse. Mm-hmm. You're pouring gasoline on a fire. And the best thing, the most honest thing and most loving thing you can do for your spouse is to reflect truth as to what they're really choosing.
Well, he sounds like the one preaching there, doesn't he?
Very true.
Yep. He sounds like just like one of the other preachers. Sounds just like Ruby or Jodi there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Now, P-Lola's mum, look, I'm no expert on all this. I just started looking into it. Although I have heard that this is huge in Utah. This is a big, like when I say huge, it's a center for this kind of stuff. I've been watching some podcasts. There is this podcast called Mormon Stories, and it's big. Like there's hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and the fella in charge knows a lot about the LDS church. So I would look at that one if I were you, because I've gotten a lot of information from that. He has a lot of guests on as well who obviously know a lot about this too. And they talk about Utah being a center for this. A lot of the congresses and things that these preachers go to have their they go and talk about the latest teachings and things. The conferences happen in Utah. So I don't know about Arizona. Do you know, Darlie?
No,
never heard of such a thing. Don't know. Idaho also, I believe Idaho has a bit of this going on as well.
Mesa is the second biggest Mormon group, but
is it?
Yeah, it was like the first area Mormons settled outside of Utah.
Oh, interesting. So I'd be curious. I'm actually, the next thing I want to do is look to see if this kind of thing exists here in Australia. So yeah, it's curious. This whole thing's really curious, but we're going to have a look in a minute at the spread of this. So, okay, let's keep going. All right. So what was connections, and who were their connections? Connections. Like my little flowcharty, graphic-y thingy.
Oh, I get it.
Get it? Connections. Yeah. Who are their connections?
You're connecting it.
Because I always like doing things like that because it's fun. All right. Oh, dear.
A very common misconception.
Not that. Okay. Right. Now, thank you to John comment for the chat. Thank you, John. And I'm not even kidding. Like, look at this thing. Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. It's crazy. It's crazy, mate. Okay, and I might need to take away the little thing overlay at the bottom. Just a sec. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the whole thing. Okay, so I know you can't read it. And so, yeah, don't worry. I'll zoom in. But there's a bunch of little circles on there. And okay, so the heavy circles are names you know, and the lighter circles are names you'll know in a minute. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Exactly. Wow. Wow. That is a flowchart. Yeah, that's a big flowchart. What's this old line read? I've known a lot of Mormons and none of them were like this. It kind of blows my mind how many people are involved in this stuff. Yeah, and okay, here's the deal, right? I want to just address this right now. Mormons are not all like this. This is like an offshoot, or I'm sure there are lots of offshoots, but this is like fundamentalists, extremists, a small portion. And I don't want to be dissing the Mormon faith at all, right? There are, I would like, it's just like saying, like, I'm a Catholic, and it's just like I get very, very upset when people start dissing the entire Catholic Church because of some things that happen with some really bad people in the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is mostly full of very giving, generous, beautiful people who are just there to love God and create beautiful communities. But of course, like humans are humans, and sometimes humans go off into different directions and create small sects and things, and they just get misled, unfortunately. And this, to have them associated with the main name of the faith is unfortunate, because it really does taints the whole religion. So I'm not here to say that all the Mormons, this is all Mormon, and that's not what this is about. So we're talking about preppers. So they're like,
Gabrielle, thank you. Glad you can join us, Gabrielle. Sorry.
We're talking about preppers. Yes, Gabrielle, welcome. So they're like Mormon preppers or LDS preppers. I don't know the name of that. These people don't really have a name. There's all these different little offshoots. Okay. So yeah, I just want to be really careful not to sort of look like I'm having a go at Mormons, because no, that's not what this is at all. Okay. Why is Visions of Glory involved in all of this weirdness? That book keeps popping up. Oh, okay, back to talk about that in a sec. Okay. Yes, probably could be said about all religions. Yeah, I'm sure, like, when you've got something that's really big like a religion, there's going to be like people who take it and then use it for their own good in evil ways. Just happens. It's what happens. Unfortunately, doomsday followers. I've met pleasant Mormons. These two women use God as word to gain notoriety. Yeah, doomsday followers. That's a good way of describing it, actually, because they're people who believe in the end of the earth is coming really shortly, and we need to prepare for it. We need to gather up resources, and then they try and use that for their own monetary gain, generally. So that's probably a good way of putting it. Okay, let's keep going. So names you know and names you'll know in a minute. All right, so now kind of at the center of this is an author called Tom Harrison, Thom. He wrote a book which was a tad controversial, on the controversial side, even for the fundamentalist types, right? So even amongst all these Mormon prepper, doomsday kind of people, even amongst them, that book was a bit controversial, right? So here's the book. So there's him. There's his book, Visions of Glory. And he's got, buy my book. It has everything you need to prep for the Doomsday Rush. Everything you need. Buy the book. To make things more complicated, he also goes by John Pontius. So that's the name that is the author name on the book. So it's kind of like a, what do you call it when you've got a different name?
Pen name or?
And that, yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And the central character is called Spencer. Right. So this is the dude that is in the book. He has all these visions and he has like these near-death experiences and stuff like that. So the book is about this guy called Spencer, right? And so he is Spencer, but he's also John Pontius and he's Tom Harrison, right? So it's all really complicated. Okay. It's all really nom de plume. Yes. Or pseudonym. Correct. Yes, pseudonym. Hello, Nancy McCarthy. Good to have you here. We forgot to circle Glenn Beck. I don't really know Glenn Beck. You'll have to explain who Glenn Beck was. Sorry, John.
He's not really around much anymore, but he's a conservative, kind of like Sean Hannity type.
Who doesn't help me at all because I'm again.
Tucker Carlson.
Oh, I remember who Sean Hannity is. Yeah. Journalist, used to be on Fox News.
Yeah. I think he used to be.
Was part of the Trump campaign.
I don't know if he was part of the Trump campaign, but he supported Trump.
Went to one of his.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Rallies. Yeah. See, check me out. Conservative pundit. Yeah. See, look at me. Was he the Blaze TV founder? Was he?
Yes, I believe he was.
Well, see, I love it when chat comes along with the stuff and you come on with stuff and people just like, see, this is what I love, right? I love it when people come along and fill in the blanks for the Australian. Okay, so right in the middle, kind of in the middle of this giant flowchart is that guy and that book. Okay. And even, like I said, even amongst all the kind of strange thoughts and ideas and the people who have them, that book is considered kind of controversial. Like some people think the book's great. Some people want to throw the book in the fire. And I mean, not the fireside fire, just the fire. Right. Okay. So moving on. Okay. So there he is with his book there. Now, I just wanted to point out, because we have Laurie Vallow up here. We have Chad Daybell here. And in between them, we have this lady called Julie Rowe. She's a friend of Chad's, and she predicted his wife Tammy's death. She also unsuccessfully predicted the end of the earth many times. So,
yeah, who hasn't done that?
Yeah, okay. So that kind of, yeah, not so sure how good of a clairvoyant she is, but we'll see. So there's Laurie Vallow and Chad Daybell. Let's follow this around. So Laurie Vallow, obviously married to Chad Daybell. She was reading in the Hawaii video, Visions of Glory. So she was reading this book, Visions of Glory, in the Hawaii video, right? So she believes in the Visions of Glory book. So to actually, to support the Visions of Glory book means something, right? To have any connection with the Visions of Glory book, that's important, right? Because either you believe in it or you don't. It's like there's no gray area from what I can tell. So Chad Daybell and Laurie Vallow support this dude. And so does Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrand. There they are, Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrand, interviewed him on their podcast.
Mm.
Oh, no, he interviewed them. Other way around. Okay, there we go. Cool. And there's connections. Now, there's this thing called the Eternal Core, and that is a Congress. And we'll keep going. Yeah, there we go. So, Eternal Core. It's some kind of festivus for preppers with a star-studded lineup. Like a festival or something, right? That's festivus. Now, let's check it out. Okay, so Eternal Core. This is like the poster for it. Okay. The Eternal Core Congress, right? And at it, she looked a bit better there, but that's her, right? So it's Jodi Hildebrandt, there's her mugshot, and that's her, right? Now, Tom Harris is in the middle. So he's like the main dude at the Eternal Core Congress, right? And then there's also this dude. Now, I believe people know who this dude is in America. I'd never heard of him before. But Tim Ballard. People, like, is this a name that people know?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so he, and we'll talk about this in a sec, Tim Ballard, he's there too. So he's between these guys. And Tim Ballard is, this dude, was also involved in the movement, but isn't so popular now due to accusations of sexual misconduct by multiple employees. They made a movie about him. Yeah, okay. So he is like famous, apparently. Like there's a movie about him, bunch of other stuff. Like Google him. He's super famous, apparently. But he's in between those two. He spoke at the EC conference, and he's the founder of another group called OUR, and that had to close down as well. So there's a bunch of people in this big flowchart who are in big legal trouble, like either in prison, in jail, have charges against them, suits against them, things like that. There we go. Sexual misconduct. Okay, so that's a lot of people and groups, and I don't know if they're all teaching the same stuff, but it sure is interesting. So at least in this group here, we have connections to this book, and it looks like the book is the thing that is tying together this whole truth of like taking like punishment and things like that, right? And that's worrying, because let's just put it this way, if that's the case, and this is just like a scraping the surface, right? Like if that's the case, if we go back to this, if all these people here all believe what this guy's saying, right? And if this guy is saying stuff about like the only way to find peace and be and live truth is to accept that you've got to be in pain, basically. And then you have to show your children that. What the hell's going on out there? Like, how many people is this stuff being spread to? And how many kids are in danger? Right? How many kids are in danger out there? Right? This is what's worrying me now. Yeah, he's the guy from the movie. Yeah. Where is my cat? I can get him in a sec. I'm about to play some jail calls, so I'll get him in a sec. Okay. Hey, J-Rock, how are you? Ah, dear. Yeah, this is what's really bothering me. Now, also this came up. John, where did you find this? I don't know where this came from. Web of Radical set of the Mormon Church. So Tom Harrison, that's the guy who wrote the book. And then Tim Ballard, John Pontius, Visions of Glory. That's Tom Harrison, right? So John Pontius plus Visions of Glory. That's still Tom Harrison. That's the book, right? And then underneath that, Underground Railroad, Glenn Beck. I don't really understand who. Oh, Glenn Beck. He is founder of Mercury One Studios, Blaze Media, and Blaze TV. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so they are all media that spread out the word, the truth, right? Underground Railroad Nazarene Fund. Okay, whatever. But more what we're interested in is this. So Tom Harrison, John Pontius, Visions of Glory, that's all the book. And then underneath that, Daybell, Vallow, Hildebrandt, Ruby Franke. John Pontius is actually a separate person. What? Really? That's not what I've read. Is it? Who is he then? John Comment. John Pontius is actually a separate person from Harrison. I'd like to know who then, because like, who is he? Like, where is he? And why? Like, what? Okay, that's news. Have we ever even seen them together in the same room? Are we sure? He's a psychologist. So why? All right then. So why does this Tom guy have like walk around with the book, making out like it's his book? If John Pontius is the guy who wrote it, like, is he just the preacher who like speaks of the book? Is that how it works? Like, this makes zero sense to me. Like, why is this guy's face next to this book if it's not his book? This, God, this is all so complicated. Glenn Beck is pretty famous, is he? Okay. See, and this is the thing. I need to piece all this stuff more together, and I really appreciate everyone in chat's help for this. And next stream, I want to be more solid with this stuff. And I also really want to understand also, John, he died. So now what is he? Okay, so is it one of these situations? Where he's like carrying on his word, kind of like the scripture? Is that the situation? Maybe that's what this is. Because yeah, I read that it's a pen name, that it's him. Wow. Tom Harrison is a cognitive therapist with a 40-year career that has included teaching in multiple. Oh, okay. You've had a request, Sarah. Come on. Jesus. You've had a request, Sarah. J-Rock wants to see you. Hello. Apparently you're the most based cat on the internet. Hi. Hello. Hey, J-Rock. Hey. Hello. Where's Babu?
Babu's being licked by Junior.
Nice. That has included teaching in multiple faculties at the University of Utah and private counseling. He is not currently licensed in Utah. Very good. Okay, so I'll go back and research it. I may be mistaken. Okay, thank you, John. Hella's cat leans into the microphone. Chemtrails are used for population control. Sarah, make everything okay again. Sarah, make everything okay. All right, cool. Yes. All right. So I want to be more solid on this for next time. But John, sorry, did you answer? Where did this flowchart come from? That would be cool. Yeah. Have we ever? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep going. But this is very, very curious and interesting. But what's more, it's worrying. It's just worrying that there's so many of these people and so much of this, and it just seems to be way bigger than I could have imagined that it was. And it's concerning to me that there could be so many people being influenced to do things that we've seen, like we saw what happened to JJ and Tylee. Goodness me, those two kids that were at Jodi's house, God, that little boy just saved both of their lives, I reckon. He just saved both of their lives. Alrighty. Next. So more research to come, but for now, let's hear some delusions from Jodi and Ruby's jail calls. Why not? Let's go. So yeah, I've gone and done a bit of work and made them a bit easier to hear by putting the captions on them and just making them look a little bit prettier. So let's go. So we've got a few from Ms. Hildebrandt. Lordy, she is damn deluded. Whoa. Okay, first one.
I know this sounds crazy, and I still can't put my finger on why it feels this way, but
Yeah.
it feels like I was being set up to end up here.
Oh my
I know
heavens.
that sounds bizarro. I mean, I should
Well,
be here. I haven't done anything wrong.
Right, but my goodness, that time.
But it was like everything got taken out of the house, and it's in the storage unit so that I could come to jail. It sounds crazy, but it really feels that way. And
That's,
I don't know if I'm
wow.
going to be like some kind of example, but when I get out of here, I have a story to tell, and I am
You bet.
going to try to do everything I can to protect the children, because that's what's happening. Is that kids are being
Absolutely.
horribly
Yep.
abused.
Yeah, absolutely.
And instead of the kids, anyways, it's a story.
It's a story.
Wow. She's worried about the kids being abused. I don't know who she's talking to, but the dude is just like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was pretty soon after. I think it was about a month after it happened. All right, this is a little bit later.
Nobody wants
Oh,
the truth.
yeah.
Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth, because these kids, I told Doug, I woke up, the spirit told me, it's all the devil. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I've known you, for 5 years? You've watched him come at me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exactly right, because he knows I know what he's doing. And he uses these kids. And he uses all of us, the adults, the parents that don't hold the kids accountable. So now it's abusive to make a kid sleep on the floor. It's abusive. Or it's abusive to, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't even raise your kids anymore.
Oh, do we have more?
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm saying is you're being crucified in public opinion.
Yeah.
So your fear has to be super prepared. And the only way he's going to get prepared is if you push him and ride him.
Okay, I will. I'll call him today.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem really animated. He seems like, the pictures, the pictures are going to destroy you. And I'm like, we didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. If we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself, yes. But we didn't do that.
What the hell?
I did not punch my girlfriend. Her face ran into my fist.
Oh, God.
That's the kind of argument she's making.
Yeah.
She is entirely in control.
That is just so sickening what she just said.
Wow. She blamed did I hear that right? She blamed the children.
She just did, yeah. For
getting injured.
Not injured. That wasn't injured.
Oh.
That it was for getting, it was I wouldn't call it injured. I would call it for getting abused, tortured.
Okay.
Let's just listen to that last bit again. Hang on.
So what I'm saying is you're being...
sorry, no, hang on, back.
So what I'm saying is you're being crucified in public opinion.
Yeah.
So your fear has to be...
Hang on, this last bit.
We didn't do that. Those pictures we didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. If we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself, yes. But we didn't do that.
They put it on him. So they're talking about
his reaction to their...
they put like razors or something on him, didn't they? Or like some chili, like some
chili,
like,
I think.
Yeah, something like that. And he rubbed the
yeah,
whatever. Okay, come on.
That is
ridiculous.
Insane.
Ridiculous. All right, now we're on to Ruby.
I'm
and by the way, this is a bunch of them all strung together now.
Where I see the facts, I see the truth, and that's what I'm gathering.
Can't even enjoy this sad
What
music.
are they charging you with?
2 charges of second-degree felony for child abuse.
2 charges of second-degree felony child abuse.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's very serious.
No shit.
Yeah.
You think?
It's interesting. I had the prompting over the last month to read Viktor Frankl. I was reading him, and it was like the worst part was not knowing the end. He said he had an inmate that's man searched for meaning, and he was a prisoner in World War II, and he said the worst part and the greatest bringing of depression was not the lack of food, and it wasn't the weather conditions, it was not knowing how long it would last. So I think I was prepared for this. I do feel strong, I feel calm. And you know what? Adults have a really hard time understanding that children can be full of evil and what that takes to fight it. You've seen what it takes to fight evil. It's not the person you're fighting. And it can look like something it's not. And you've been there, you know that. And so I don't know any adults who are going to see the truth. So I'm calm about this, and I just pray that you'll hang in there.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
I think I can call back, but
Yeah, but just in case,
I doubt it.
I'm preparing to step up and fight for the children.
Oh wow. Okay. He's preparing to step up and fight for the children. That's the first time I've heard him mention the children like at all. Like ever. Except for when he said, I thought I was coming to the police station to get the children. But wow, okay. Now, I just want to say, wow, Ronnie, okay, so they made a paste of cayenne pepper and honey and put it on the wounds, wrapped with gauze, plastic wrap, and duct tape. What the hell?
Yeah.
What the actual hell is that? Okay, and so what Jodi was saying before was that the kid rolled around in it, so that's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chatty Factory, welcome to chat, by the way. Hi, how's it going? Good to have you here. They went running around. They were being forced to do labor and son. Yeah, and also there's this weird video of them pulling out weeds in a cemetery. Like they had to go to this cemetery in the sun and for hours and hours pull weeds out of graves.
Okay.
What the? Also, they had to stand on 1 foot for long periods of time. Okay. Yeah. Apparently God made us so that we have to be beaten and tortured to reach more holiness for some reason. Yeah, that's what he did. Why can't her punishment be what they did to the... Yeah, people have said that. People have said that. And hello, Jenny33. Good to have you here too. He said in first interview that he hadn't been to Jodi's house, but in second he had been there. Oh yeah, I am so sus on this, Kevin. I am so sus on this Kevin dude. Hey, like he's changing his story all over the place, and he's acting like he had nothing to do with any of this. And I was taking some space. Yeah, right. He's well complicit in all of this. It's just like, well, has he been offered something? Actually, no, there's no reason for him to be offered anything. They pled guilty.
Yeah.
They pled guilty. Yeah. All right. What's that? Also, a woman recorded them doing that and called the cops on them when they're in the cemetery. Yeah. I've got the video of that. I just didn't know what it was. Like, I've got all of the video. I have all of the exhibits, and that was actually my first introduction to all of this because I wasn't following. I followed it like from the side because I'm busy doing.
There's so much
streams.
We cover and
we cover all sorts of things. Yeah. And then I was fortunate that someone close to me shared me all the exhibits when they came out. And I was like, okay. And I started to go through them and piece them all together. And one of them was this thing in a cemetery. And I was like, what is that? I could not work out what for the life of me that thing was. And so I kept that for later. And I was like, put it in a folder called Find Out What This Is. Yeah. Just so weird. So weird. A Native American cemetery, which was not welcomed by the local. I'm sure it wasn't.
You don't mess with Native American cemeteries.
Wearing socks at the cemetery. I wear boots. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole landscape out there does not look very welcoming at all.
This was Idaho? Utah. Okay. Yeah. So it's basically desert. I mean, not as deserty as Arizona, but it's rocks and.
Have you seen it? It looks super deserty.
Oh, is it?
Like massively deserty. Like there's just like it looks like a movie set.
Okay.
It's full on. All right, let's keep going.
They can take him, and there's going to be a hearing in the next couple of days here in Provo.
I'm sorry, I signaled to Joe. Will you say that one more time?
Yes, I'm prepared to step up and fight for the children.
Thank you, Becky.
They've been taken into custody. They're in foster care, and there's going to be a hearing within the next 2 or 3 days.
What about Abby and Julie?
Them too. All 4 were taken.
Where did they go to get Abby and Julie?
I don't know. They while I was with them, they got Abby, and they were looking.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah,
okay.
When I saw how long this separation was lasting, I wanted to think of some ways that I could bring in money or make some money.
Do I need the sad music again?
You didn't ever come back.
Very low.
So that's when I asked if you would co-sign on a loan if I found a house. And maybe I could Airbnb it or rent it out, or I've been playing with numbers in my head and I think I could make something, but I don't want to be dumb. I want to be very conservative.
Too late.
So
too late.
I pulled the money and I have it in a bag. And
with you? Do the police have it?
Well, I don't know what the police took. I don't know what the police have.
But the bag was at Jodi's house?
They can't just take people's money. I mean, that's not right.
Well, they're not going to take the money, but when they have a search warrant, they have access to everything in the house.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to need that money.
We might do. So, I haven't been making big purchases. I've been
what, like ramen?
I think the biggest expense has been the kids schooling, and that's they have enough curriculum to get them for a couple years. So.
Oh, she's concerned about their schooling. That's sweet.
Okay. I just received a text from Ted Dawson out of the blue. Ted Dawson, who I haven't heard from in years.
What, he just texted you?
Yeah, the story's out. So he said, Stormy sent me an article and it just broke my heart. I just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you, and if I can ever be a resource, we are always here.
Are we in the news?
Maybe
at least you're in the news. I don't know about me. I don't know what he's talking about. But
I'm wondering if they went to Sherry.
Yeah, I can't get that. All unread. That's just terrible.
I don't know.
These bookings are public.
I know they are. And a couple of months ago, Business Insider was reaching out to me, and I ignored their email. But I'm going dark.
This is a witch.
I'm not at BYU. I'm not at BYU anymore, so I don't know how they're going to find me.
Yeah, maybe it was a blessing. This is a witch hunt.
Well, in this case, it's a bitch hunt, but okay.
The devil's been after me for years.
Hey.
And
sorry.
He's mad as heck. Have
you shared that with the detectives?
I have not said a word until I have an attorney.
Okay, well, you know that this phone call is being recorded.
Yeah, actually,
you have 1 minute remaining for.
That's something else, Pam. I didn't have time for this stream, but I will talk about Pam in the next stream. Pam Botcher had one of the, I think only one of the other children at the time. Her involvement with this whole thing is curious to me. So she seems to be part of this whole thing, but I certainly can't get on stream and make any accusations. She, as you say, she's not arrested. Is she running connections at this point, like as in when they're having these conversations? I don't know. So yes, she's an associate of Frankie and Hildebrandt, and she had one of Ruby's children in her care at the time. There is body cam of Pam being arrested, detained, and that child being taken around, I think within a day or so of the other two children being found. So yeah, I want to look more into Pam. So thank you for bringing that up. 2 of the daughters, was it? Sorry, I thought it was 1. Yeah. And yeah, she was very shady when they came to her house. They were like, we need to see the children. And she's like, well, I can show you a picture of them or something. I can't remember. Was it a picture, or she's like, oh yeah, they're there. I was like, no. Now you're being detained. What? And they're like, give us your hands. Yeah. The 2 middle girls. Yeah, because the other kids are older. What's a BYU? Good question. I don't know. Oh, Brigham Young University. Pam had them cleaning her house. Not surprised. Yeah, because, that probably was fun for them. BYU had campuses in Utah, Hawaii, and Idaho. She didn't volunteer the second daughter. The one girl slipped and said her sister was, is that how it happened? Right. There you go. See, I've just seen the body cam footage. I didn't see that part. So yeah, the body cam footage is quite long, and we could probably do just a stream of that. But no, I'll cut the pieces that are most interesting for us to have a look at, and we'll have a bit of a look into her.
For this call.
Yes, that will come out.
Okay.
When we were driven to the jail, the detective was putting us in the car, and Jodi said, "I trust you." So
they're going to be in the hospital for 3 days.
So weird. It's just not necessary. They're trying to exaggerate this.
Yeah, it's just exaggerating.
Well,
I don't. They didn't show me.
Like the hero.
So they didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it was very serious.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
I love
It was horrible. It was torturous last night, hearing the screaming and the banging and people. It's like, okay, that's upsetting. But the most upsetting thing is that I am completely misunderstood. That is the most horrible feeling. Like my own family misunderstands me. They misinterpret me. And poor Jodi, they misinterpret her. They misunderstand her. She puts her neck out on the line for people, and then they get mad at her. I mean, it is just horrendous. It's horrendous. And you know what? Every Joseph Smith, every wonderful man of God has had to be misunderstood.
That's right.
And so I'm going to get out of this. Who knows? Maybe in 10 days I'll get out of this.
Oh, you think?
If truth prevails right now, or who knows? Like 20 years? I don't know. I don't know how long. But I'm going to step out. I'm going to say I went through
a bit more like it.
Everything I have seen. God's children suffer. All the people here, my jail cellmates, have been beautiful women, but they've been hurt. They've been deceived into drugs, and my heart just has so much compassion for them. And I have compassion for the cops, and I have compassion for myself.
You have compassion for your fellow inmates, but not your fucking freaking kids.
And then to be told that I'm suicidal, I'm like, no, that's not true.
Okay, Juicy Smouye.
Anyway, if you need to let
Sherry, that was either Sherry or one of your siblings.
Well, they're all in cahoots. One means all of them, but yes, you're right. In your hearing, I don't know if you've considered this. I don't know if it'd be helpful, but you could have the house.
Oh, that's nice.
And if all the kids go to the house, you've got room there, and I will gladly stay away.
What I'm saying is you're being crucified in public opinion.
So,
so
I don't know if that's helpful. I'm just giving it to you if it is.
Has to be
Thank you.
super prepared. And the only way
in the discussions with my attorney,
Okay,
that,
I will. I'll call him today.
that's the only way that we're going to retain custody of the children.
That's
fine. Is there 2 audio?
There,
he's
35 years in this, and he said, even if you...
Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. Did we put that on him, and then he
I don't know how.
Cut himself? Yes, but we didn't do
magic.
Will be no.
Okay, well, it's hard to get a phone around here. I asked for a phone, and it took hours to get it, so it may not be until later tonight. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Good luck. I will be praying for you. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I have no clue.
This is a call from and paid for by
Ruby. Thank you.
Purgatory Corrections.
an inmate at Purgatory Correctional Facility. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now.
So weird. My computer got possessed by the devil.
Hello?
Hello?
Thank you for using Telmate.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, that was
over there.
It's 9:30. We're good.
Okay. Right?
Yeah, I didn't think
you yeah. We're 8 hours ahead.
Okay.
I'm glad you could call us back.
Yeah. I haven't used the phones very much. They're kind of hard to figure out, but yeah, I think I figured out how to use. I don't think this one will shut me off. I think the one I called you was a free call, and this one will be paid for by my account. Kevin Bo put some money in it. So, but I was saying I can't
say everything that I want to say, but I really did feel like the arrest was like a rescue. Like I just felt so many angels around, and it was like a relief. It was just really kind of surreal, kind of strange. But I just keep thinking about, President Nelson's talk, think celestial, and I know he said in the past about myopic thinking, and he's given a lot of context to how small this life really is, and I'm just so grateful. How many people, will go to the grave not having woken up, and I want to use this time, and I am using this time to change, to repent, and to do what I can to let the Lord know I love him and my family.
God.
I've had many experiences here to kind of guide my thinking. It's like, I don't know, my attorney's been really good. Did you know my attorney is...
I believe that God has a hand in the old Ruby, being kind of set free, or whatever you want to call it.
Jodi Factory, was the Hildebrandt case, was she into religious extremism at all, or was she just like crazy bitch?
I believe.
Sorry, I can't hear you properly.
Crazy biche.
Is that all? Okay.
I believe so.
But that thing being gone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not come out of this without his grace, without his mercy, without his help. This has been the strangest and the most miraculous intervention. It put everybody where they needed to be. It separated me from Jodi, so I'm not hearing her. And I think just being gone and not hearing her has cleared a lot of things up for me. And it put the kids in a place where they're...
What?
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
I thought it was the free phone, or the phone that didn't do that.
Did you see that Jodi pled guilty today?
Oh, here we go.
I did see that. Yes. Is that a relief for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big relief. It's a big relief. There would have been positive the other way too. Had she not pled guilty, there's enough evidence that she could have been convicted for life. But that would have been messy. It would have been really messy, and the kids would have. So
I think she thinks that this means she's off.
So do you and her get the same outcome no matter what now, or is there a chance that it would be different?
That's a really good question. That's one that I've asked Lamar. No, we can still have different outcomes. So Ellie asked a little bit about this. I wrote it out in a text to her. But so the next thing that will happen is I will fill out, and she will fill out probation and there's another P.
Parole?
Paperwork. And basically you go through your history and you tell them your history, which there's no history on me. There's nothing, no criminal history, no mental health history, nothing. And I'm also hiring a professional to do a mental health evaluation, just to say
Too late.
She's good. Like there's no mental health problems at all. And then that will go to
you want mental health problems.
Jodi, she can lie on her paperwork, and she probably will. I don't think she's going to give them her history. But I think in the interview, it's going to be apparent that she's mentally ill.
She is, not you.
And so that will affect how long someone, because they're looking, how repentant are you? How much responsibility are you taking? How are you aware that what you've done is wrong? And she's the only reason she pled is because she didn't want to do life.
What about you, lady?
I would testify. The other thing is,
okay, actually,
on my plea.
Who watched the sentencing of Frankie? Who watched that? Because she was all like, "I'm so sorry for everything that was the trouble that I caused," and la 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 la. So she acted all like remorseful and all that kind of thing. It was this big like speech, and so she knows how to like put on a big act. Yeah, it was annoying, Becca Lynn. It was annoying. But there's no way, like she, if you really like listen to her talk, there's no way she just like turned like her whole belief system around in a couple of months.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Like, there's no way she like went, "Oh yeah, right, okay, now I see it. Now I see what I did, and that was all
my bad.
That was all wrong. My bad. Yeah, oops."
Was that wrong?
Yeah.
I gotta plead ignorance on this one. I did not know.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, this is the thing, though. I think this particular little piece of jail call is really obvious. Like, she's saying that Jodi is only saying these things because she doesn't want to do life. Like, but she doesn't have any real remorse. So she knows that the way to not do life is to try and act like you're remorseful. So she's no idiot. She knows that that's what you've got to do to not get life.
Yeah. I mean, every day people say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." It's like the examples of true people, like Kim Potter is one where she, seconds after the incident, she made a mistake. She's sobbing because of what happened.
Well, she knew, she was truly, genuinely knew.
Yeah, she genuinely had remorse. You knew it wasn't fake. This is obviously fake.
Obviously, like, there's no way this woman is like, okay, yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
My whole belief system has now changed.
Yeah.
No. Come on.
Oh, I was truly wrong.
Yeah, no. Yeah, nah.
Plea deal, when I come up for probation, the prosecuting attorney can will often, if they think that you're a danger to society, will talk to the probationary board and or write them a letter saying, "I think she needs to stay where she is." He's going to stay neutral and not write any letter when my probation comes up, which is a really big deal. But for her, he's not going to stay neutral. So we can come up to probation and I can get off on probation and she may not.
So what does probation look like?
Something to say?
What does that all entail?
Words are real.
It can look like several different things. I think I'm still learning about this, and I think I never realized how complicated it is. I always thought you pled guilty and they tell you how long you're in.
Yeah, there's a lot of terminology to know.
Yeah, and half of the stuff that is said goes over my head, and then I have to go. I come back and I ask the girls here. I'm like, "What does this mean? What does this mean?" But probation could look like going home. Like you could go home. Sometimes
CIA unlive JFK.
You know, it might look like going home with restrictions, like you can go home, but you need to live with somebody who's responsible, and you can't be around certain people. Like they may say you could go home if your parents agree to house you, but you can't go home where your kids are living.
Give me the catnip.
Look like something like that.
It's
Or
loud.
it could look like something where I have an ankle monitor. Or it could look like you can go home if you pay a $10,000 fine. Or maybe it could look like instead of serving the rest of your time, we'll give you some good time and you can go home in half the time. Or
okay, we'll give you 25 years and you go home in 20.
Probation, getting off on probation, I think looks like there's several different ways that could happen.
I doubt it.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And is that usually after you've already served some time then?
Say
that one more time.
That's after you have served some time?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what that is going to be. I don't know if it's... One of the girls said that it would be for me 6 months, but I've also heard it could be 4 years. I mean, some people serve several years before they ever see their probation board. So I'm really still.
We have the yodel music.
Yeah.
4 years.
We need the yodel music. Do we have yo?
No, I think it's on my soundboard.
Oh damn! Yeah, a while ago, we were playing game shows, and we were doing The Price Is Right, and we had like the yodel guy,
from
the guy who would go
game.
up the cliffhanger game. It's like more, and then he like falls off.
I could be in there 30. Like I really don't know.
Yeah, and that will come in February.
On February 20th.
Well, they won't be kids by then.
And the news that I saw today, Jodi's
Andrew.
Sentence hearing is also February 20th. So I'm going to make a request that we be transferred in 2 different vans. I don't think they're going to accommodate that.
Oh, do they? Okay, I see.
Yeah, when I went to the courthouse last week, what they do, they did this when they transported me to Utah County as well. They pull all the girls. There's only 2 housing here for girls. There's not very many girls here, but there's many for the men. And so they take the girls and they put them in a cell together, in a holding cell to wait, and then they get all the men together and they put all the men in the cells, and then they start putting on the ankle bracelets and the chains and the everything on the men while you're sitting in the cell with these women you're going to the court with for an hour, and you're sitting with them, and then they pull the girls out and they line you up, and then they put the shackles on you, and then they take the men out to the men's van, and then they take the women out to the women's.
Well, this is the thing, and Andrew, you're so right. And guys, if you don't know Andrew, Andrew's got a wonderful channel, Law of Self-Defense. There are some new people here in chat, Andrew, who might not know of you. And look, she doesn't talk about them at all. I don't know, like, Andrew, you seem to have, this case doesn't seem to be new to you. You must have seen a little bit of it around the place. Yeah. This woman, she's got 6 kids. God knows how the other ones survived to adulthood. But like they were tortured. The little boy escaped through a window of the other woman's house, and like the photos of them are just shocking. I haven't shown them on this channel. I will not show them on this channel. That's not what this channel's all about. But she doesn't talk about them at all, other than to say that they're evil and that the things that have been done to them are not wrong, basically. She doesn't talk about whether or not they're okay or that she misses them or anything like that whatsoever. It's just out of control. It's completely out of control. Yeah, it's just, I don't even get it. I only know this case, what I read in your show description. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Yeah, this has been all over YouTube, all over the law channels, all over the true crime channels, all over everything for the last year and a half. Reason being that this lady here, Ruby Franke, she was part of like one of those, what do you call it, family YouTube channels. So they were like a famous family kind of thing. And then they turned into, she was a mumfluencer, as they call it. Goodness me. That I can't.
And her whole thing was being very strict with the kids.
Yeah, very, very strict with the kids, but no one quite knew how strict it was.
Yeah.
No.
And I think the really awful thing is the like Ring doorbell footage when the kid escaped and went to a neighbor's house. And it was this older guy that answered the door. And he was basically in tears looking at this kid, this poor child, what he'd been through. And like he was on the phone with the police and like trying to hold back tears and just be there for the kid.
Yep. Her kids were her status symbol. Sorry, were status symbols for her. That's all they were. Yeah. It's just like the whole story is really, really shocking. And the background to it, which we've been talking about earlier, is that this is all really, really eerily similar to the belief system that was going on with the Chad Daybell and Laurie Vallow case. So all about like this doomsday prepping and things like that. And the torturous stuff that was happening with the kids was all about like keeping them controlled and making sure that they abided by the laws of God and making sure that they weren't invested by evil, I suppose. Very, very weird and worrying. Okay, we'll just listen to a bit more.
And then you drive to the courthouse together, and then they take you out.
How far away is your place from the courthouse there in
Hey, nothing else. Good to have you here.
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then you sit in a cell at the court. So if someone's hearing's at 9, this is what happened to me. There was a girl that went with me, and her hearing was at 9, but mine wasn't until 11. So she went in and she had like a 5-minute hearing. And then we sat in the cell and talked for 2 hours until it was my turn. And then we rode back together. So you pretty much spend several hours together.
You make
whoever's
friends.
Going to the court that day with you.
You have fun.
Interesting. So that means on February 20th, it would be you and her going together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to her? Was it that day?
It was when we were arrested.
Okay.
Yeah. I left early in the morning to go to a dentist appointment with Julie. We left at like 3 in the morning, and she calls me sometime in the morning, and so I went back down. But when I got to the house, I mean, it looked like the movies. There was a red fire truck, there was a black van with tinted windows, there were 2 ambulances, there were 20 cop cars. I mean, it was.
Did you just sit in your car?
No, I pulled up and found a spot to park. She lives on a cul-de-sac. I parked in the cul-de-sac, and I walked up, and the driveway was just full of cops, and I just walked up to the cops, and they said, "Are you the mother?" And I nodded my head, and so they took me and put me in the casita, and I sat there for a couple hours. I just sat there, and then they were finishing looking through the house and stuff, I think, and some of the guys were coming in and out with pizza, and so I think Eve was still there because the ambulance car was there. I was eating pizza with the police, and then once the kids were taken in the ambulance cars, then the detective came and patted me down and arrested me, and then took me to the courthouse for questioning, which I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't say anything because Lamar was really helpful. Like, if you ever get arrested, don't say anything.
Okay, that's the smartest thing she ever said. Right there.
I mean, she's not wrong.
She's not. That is by far, like, there's only one thing I will ever agree with that Ruby Franke ever said, and that's it. If the cops ever arrest you, don't speak till you got your lawyer there, right there. That's the only thing I agree with that she ever did, was just stay completely silent and said, "I want my lawyer," because that's good. That's good right there. Yeah. And also, Andrew, if you're still here, you've got a wrench now. So thank you for the wrench in your chat. I gave you one back.
Ooh.
And
how did you find Lamar? Was he just assigned to you coincidentally, or did you?
So she has an attorney that she's used for connections,
Nancy?
and I called him and no one answered, but then she called him and he said, "I only do like business law. I don't do criminal law, but here's a number of 2 people who do that I would highly recommend." And so she gave the 2 numbers, and I got the number from Kevin. I don't know how the numbers got from.
I know.
I don't know how.
I know, Andrew.
Kevin said, "Here's your attorney, and this is her attorney," and that was the last time I talked to Kevin. It was a couple of days after my arrest, but so I didn't see Jodi at all when I went to the house to turn myself in. I didn't see her.
Okay.
And I went. They took me to the courthouse, and the detective was like, "I've got all night. We can talk all night." And I didn't say anything. I just said, I want an attorney. So I could hear Kevin in the hallway talking, and then he left. And when they took me out of the room, they took me outside and cuffed me and said,
"Attorney Wood
again,
Chipper,
they cuffed me
Esquire."
again. They told me, "You're under arrest for," and then they told me two of the charges, and then they had me get in the patrol car, and that's when I saw Jodi. I saw Jodi was also in the patrol car, and she had surgery on her shoulder. She couldn't put her hands behind her back, so then they pulled her out and changed up the way they arrested her so she could drive with her hands in front of her. And then we had about a 45-minute drive to the jail. And that was the last time I spoke to her. We were in the back. And we didn't say a whole lot. I mean, we talked the whole time, but I don't remember really saying a whole lot. We sang hummed a couple hymns, and she
Kumbaya.
She was still justifying the whole time. She's like,
Oh,
don't
Babu.
worry, we'll have our day in
Junior.
court. And then
Hello.
when we were booked in, they put us in separate cells, and we've been in separate cells ever since. So
hello, Babu.
Do you hate talking about that kind of stuff? Does it trigger anything, or is it just?
No, I don't. I think it's. No, I don't mind talking about it. maybe good for me
are
to
you
talk
being
about it. I don't know if
triggered,
you
Ruby?
like talking about it.
Don't be triggered.
I was just wondering if it triggered anything. But if you're doing okay mentally, and then that's okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, you're right, Nancy. Yeah, they were being taped.
Oh, yes.
That's why they did
Good
it.
point.
That's
I think
why they
putting
did
the
it.
pieces together and just seeing like she knew she was lying the whole time. Like
I was wondering that too. But
and
you're
it's
right.
embarrassing too to like repeat it. It's like, oh my gosh, how gullible was I? Oh my gosh, how much power I gave this person, and I didn't.
That's what's embarrassing.
But when I realized, so she had her
Really?
attorney's name is Doug, Terry, and mine's Lamar, and Lamar, you know, maybe a month into it, he's maybe not even that long. He's like, Jodi denies everything. She denies having anything to do with this, and I was shocked. I was like, what? And I'm still telling Lamar, like, you know, all of the justifications and all of the, you know, I'm talking like a criminal. I sound like a mad person. He was so patient with me. He was
You
so
sound like a
patient
mad
with me. He
person.
would look at me and like kind of dumbfounded, like I'd said 2 + 2 is 7, and I really believed it. And he would just stare at me. I'm like, what am I saying that's so off? And but that's because I really believed it. But then when I heard that Jodi was not talking like that, she was denying the whole thing. It told me she knew all along. It's like a little kid who doesn't know it's wrong to pee in their underwear. Like they don't know.
Okay.
They're not embarrassed by it. It's like, oh, I was supposed to pee in the toilet. Oh, oops. But you get a 6-year-old. You know, you get a 6-year-old who knows they're supposed to pee in the toilet and they're peeing down the heater vent. They're going to try to hide it. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized she knew all along, and she's hiding it. And then I was like, crap, what am I done? And that's when things kind of started turning. I was like, she's not been honest. I didn't know she wasn't honest. I didn't know she would lie. And it's like, what else has she been lying about? Where else have I been deceived?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Oh, no, I was just, agreeing.
Yeah.
You did see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just like the little string that started pulling apart the fabric. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, what? I can talk about it now. Yeah, go ahead.
Lamar was just very kind that day that we met with him. It was very nice to meet him time and just visit with us.
Have a good one, love.
Oh,
It's so good to have you here.
Miraculous.
Yeah. He and his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a way of like he didn't beat around the bush. Like there were sometimes he would say things that were shocking to me. Like he would like repeat what I said, but he would say it in a different tone so I could hear myself. And he's like, "Is that really what you think?" And I'm like, "Oh,
is that really what you think?"
But then there were other times that.
Nope.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Do you want to end the call, or do you want me to call you back? How do you want to?
How about you shut up now?
End for today, and then
we end for today?
Talk again.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad that he's got
like Kelly Jensen on the phone
to
calls.
kind of help you through it, and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that first night I was in the jail, I just felt really strongly like, I'm sending you help. Help is coming.
Yeah.
And I just felt like
that
was Lamar, and he's been very, very helpful. I'm grateful for him.
Well, that's what we've all been praying for this whole time. So I'm glad that even it's a different kind of help.
I don't know who this woman is on the phone, but she sounds like she's really happy there's 1 minute left.
I'll take it. Like I hate this, but I'm taking it.
Of course. Yeah.
It's like me when I'm backstage with anyone but Hella.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call.
Can I go? I said but Hella. No, I don't mind being backstage with you. I'm comfortable.
I know. Like that's actually true. I can see that. It's like your social battery is just like
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Right. I'm just gonna go forward a little bit. Is that it? All right. So always remember why we're looking at this, guys. Like this is not the kind of content I usually cover here. Like this is a little bit true crimey for me. Like when I say true crimey, I don't have anything against true crime. But usually on this channel, I look more at sort of like current court cases and things like that, things that are sort of ongoing. And this is kind of looking backwards and analyzing something that's already happened. And so and sort of like going through exhibits and things. I mean, apart from the Nick Godejohn story, I haven't really delved into things like this so much. So for me, it's a little bit different. And I worried about it when I first looked at it and went, is it a little bit sort of tragedy? I don't like to use like to go tragedy whore, but it's a little bit, is it a little bit like that? Is it a little bit like pouring over someone else's tragedy? And I didn't want it to be that. But then I looked through all the information and I started to dig a little bit further, and because it bothers me so much what happened to these kids. And I don't, like, there was a bunch of stuff that could be really gratuitous for me to put up, and I don't want to do that. This is not about putting things up here that that's really when is Helen co-hosting with Becky? When she returns my calls.
I know.
Andrew, can you put in a good word for me, please?
Yeah. Can you ask Eric Bland,
Yeah, maybe. Or Eric, can you put in a good word for me with Eric Bland, please?
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't sure about doing this, and I did not want to just be like throwing out there photos of the kids and all that kind of nasty stuff. That's not what this is about, right? But why I think it's important that we look into this and not just throw the exhibits up there is because there might be signs worth noting. And like I was talking about earlier in the stream, I think there's more of this stuff out there than maybe people are aware of. And this is serious now. Okay. So I think that, like I was showing you with that flow chart, there are a lot of people preaching these things, and it could be really dangerous, actually. Like the fact that there was a little boy who escaped from this woman's house, and they're rich people, like they're really, really rich people. And they have followers, like they've got tons and tons of followers, and they are teaching things that are about punishing children for doing normal stuff, like
For
wetting
being
their
kids.
pants. Yeah, for being kids. And when I say punishing them, I mean not just like the way that
torture.
we were punished when we were kids, like being like spanked. I mean like being deprived of water and being deprived of food, and
No, not even deprived, like having wounds be bound up with hot chili pepper.
Yeah, stuff like that. So if there's
forced to stand on one leg. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. But if this is spreading as far as, like, if we're looking at, like, if it's spreading as far as, and these are influencers, right? If it's really this big, then there's things to watch out for. So anyway, yeah. So maybe there are signs worth noting. So because there's no kid who should ever go through this ever. So we're going to look into this more and more and more. Hello, Lil Pill. Penance for my failure to appear on your list. Love you. You don't have to provide penance because you are just the best admin on the Discord ever and just the best person and friend. And love you, love you, love you, even though you're a Westralian. Even though you're from that part of the country that we tried to build a wall. Love you, love you. It's just that there are so many examples of extreme beliefs and behaviors going on in the underbelly of the LDS church. Exactly. And that's what I'm just starting to notice and wonder about, and wonder whether there's lots of children that are at risk from this thing. Yeah. I remember my mum stopped spanking me when she spanked with the brush she was using for her hair. Yeah. And thank you to everyone who contributed to this stream. If you want to continue the conversation, we will be chatting about it in the Discord, I'm sure, after this and over throughout the week. And I'll be doing more research on it and presenting more this time next week. Actually, not sure if it will be 6:30 Eastern. It'll probably be more like 7:30 Eastern, because I do want to do an update on the Nick Godejohn situation because his appeal has been denied. And Bronco, if you're still there, can I book you for 6:30 p.m. Eastern this next week, Tuesday? Because please come on stream and talk about the appeal being denied for Nick, because you did help us with the interpreting his appellant brief, and that's been denied. And we would really love your insight into that document that's just come in. Yeah, that'd be so great. So yeah, we'll do Nick next week. And then we'll do this one at 7:30 p.m. Eastern straight after. Okay. And John, you're incredible. Damn, John. You're amazing. Can't believe how cool you are. Can you see that one, Dolly?
Yes. Let me. Nancy McCarthy, Flawless Mom, Tom Cartwright, Michael Eaton, and Turnips was gifted a membership.
Turnips. Aww. It's okay, whatever. Thank you so much, John. You're so great. I can't even keep up with how many gifted memberships that you give out. You're just incredible. Thank you so
awesome,
much.
John.
You are awesome, and thank you for your contribution
and
to this.
And your $5 super chat too.
Well, hang on.
Yeah, Hella missed that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Amazing stream, Hella, and you have covered this great. I love you. I love you too. And DG, hello. I didn't see you there. Good stream. Thank you.
Buddy.
Thank you. And I'll check you out. You're a member too. Free Zachariah Anderson. Free Zach. It is Free Zach month. It is the anniversary of his trial, and it's being streamed daily on 2 channels, actually, both on Law of Self-Defense. Thank you, Andrew, for watching the trial yourself.
Well, 3,
and it's being streamed on Making More Simple Network, and on 3 and on Solomon's channel as well, his brother. So please check that out.
Law of Self-Defense, the wonderful attorney Andrew Branca is watching the trial for the first time. Finally has time because he has a cold, but he is watching it on his channel, providing his insights, and very interesting to see his take on it.
Yeah. So, and the reason he's running it on his channel completely separately is because he doesn't want to be influenced by other people's opinion. He wants to watch it completely fresh eyes, which I really respect. So amazing to have so much coverage of Zach's trial. And also at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, I do my Not a Murderer, Free Zachariah Anderson, an Urgent Fight for Justice. I might have a break from that this week because there's so much Zach coverage this week. So we'll see. Okay, anyway, we are going to raid Mr. Potentially Criminal. He is, what's he doing? George Kelly murder trial he's doing. And by the way, tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we're having a casual catch-up for things on my mind. And we're also going to talk about possible new cases and time slots and things like that. So make sure that you're here for that one. We might go members only halfway through. And you know what happens when we go members only, everybody? Things get spicy.
Take her pants off.
No, not that spicy. No, that's on OnlyFans. Yeah, awesome. All right, we're gonna raid Sean now. Everyone say EU raid, please. EU raid. And thank you for being with me, Dali, for this one. I think you behaved.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you lots. All righty, time to say goodbye. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, I'll let Hella in this.
I really enjoyed sharing this one with you guys. Okie dokie. And time to say bye-bye. Love yous all. I'm going to use my free Zach ending. Meow, meow, meow.